In 2006, I did the responsible thing with money for the first time in my life. It cost me more than every stupid thing I have ever done put together. My grandmother died in February and left me $40,000. She had worked in a school kitchen for 31 years. $40,000 was, as far as I can tell, most of what she had. I have thought about that a lot since, about what a school kitchen wage looks like when you leave it in one piece for somebody. I was 29, I had never had more than about $3,000 in an account at one time. And suddenly there was 40 in there, and it frightened me. I want to be clear that I knew what I did not know. I did not think I was clever. That is the whole reason I went and got help. A man my father knew had an office above a dental surgery. 2 chairs, a desk, a plant that was doing badly. He was kind, he was patient with me. He explained things I did not understand twice and did not make me feel stupid about it. I have thought about him a lot since, and I still do not think he was a crook. That is what makes this story worth telling. He put the $40,000 into a fund. He explained the fund, he explained why it was diversified, and I nodded. Because it sounded like exactly the sort of thing a responsible person would own. And somewhere in that conversation he said a number, and the number was 1.75%. I remember thinking, that is less than 2. That was the entire analysis I performed. Less than 2? And why would I have done more? 1.75% of $40,000 is $700 a year. For someone to manage my grandmother's money so I did not ruin it. $700 a year sounded like a bargain. It sounded like the price of not being an idiot. I did not think about it again for 19 years. And here's the thing I need you to understand about those 19 years. Nothing bad happened. The fund went up, statements arrived, and the number on them was bigger every time. Not once did I open one and feel anything except mild pleasure. No bill ever came. That is the part people miss. There was never a moment where somebody asked me for $700. It comes out of the fund before the number you see. So the number you see is always going up and the money is always leaving. And those two facts live in different rooms. You cannot feel it. That is not a criticism of you. It is the design. So let me show you what these numbers do using round figures, because the real ones are worse and I do not want you to think I picked them. $500 a month. 35 years, 8% a year before costs. That is an ordinary life, not a rich one. In a fund charging 0.05%, which is what a plain index fund costs today, you end with $1,132,000. In a fund charging 1%, everything else identical, you end with $900,000.
$232,000.
That is what 950 thousandths of 1% costs across a working life. Not 1%, less than 1%. And now hold it next to the only other number that matters. Over those 35 years, you put in $210,000 of your own money. The fee took $232,000. The fee is bigger than everything you contributed. Bigger than everything you saved. Read that again if you need to, because I read it 4 times and then went and checked it in a spreadsheet myself. 21% of the entire outcome. Gone to a decimal you could not feel, in a document you did not read, on a decision you made in one afternoon when you were 29. And mine was not 1%. Mine was 1.75. At 1.75, the same life ends at $754,000 instead of $1,132,000. $378,000, a third of everything. For a plant that was doing badly and a man who was kind to me. I want to explain the mechanism properly. Because when I say a percent, people hear a percent of your contribution, it is not. It is a percent of everything you have every year, including all the growth from the years before, which is where nearly all your money comes from. So it starts almost invisible and it grows exactly as fast as you do. In year 1, 1% of a small pot is a few dollars. Nobody would leave over that. That is the point of year 1. By the time you have $120,000 saved, that same 1% is $1,200 a year, $100 a month, leaving quietly. And in the last year on that $900,000 pot, 1% is $9,005. You were contributing $6,000 a year at that point. They're taking $9,000. Every year it grows with you. In the final years of a lifetime of saving, the fee is larger than the saving. You're working to pay the fee. And you will never see it happen, because it never appears as a payment. It appears as a slightly smaller number that you have nothing to compare against. Nobody sends you the other statement, the one showing what you would have had. That statement does not exist, and that is the entire reason this industry works. I found out in a completely stupid way, which I think is how most people find out. A man at work was complaining about his pension. Not to me particularly. He said a number out loud, and the number was 0.04. And I said, 0.04 what? He said it like it was nothing. That evening I went home and found the paperwork in a drawer where it had been sitting for 19 years, and I read it properly for the first time. The number was there. It had always been there. It was on page 2 in the same size type as everything else, exactly as he had told me in his office. Nobody hid anything from me. I want to keep saying that, because the version of the story where somebody is a villain is the comfortable version, and it is not true. He told me the number, I heard it. I did not know what it meant, and nothing in the way it was presented was designed to help me find out. I sat there for a while doing the arithmetic on the back of an envelope, and then I did it again on the laptop, because I did not believe the envelope. 19 years, $40,000 of my grandmother's money, plus everything I had added since. I'm not going to say the number out loud. I will say that it was more than I had ever earned in a year, and I had done nothing to lose it, except sign something on a good day. The worst part was not the money. It was that I had been doing the right thing the whole time. I had saved. I had not touched it. I had not panicked in 2008 and sold everything, which plenty of people did. I did every single thing the books tell you to do, and I still handed over a third of it, because of one line on page 2 that I was not equipped to read. That is the part I want you to take more than any number in this video. Being sensible is not enough. Being disciplined is not enough. You can do everything right for 19 years and still be quietly losing a third of it, and nothing in your life will alert you. So here's the 10 minutes I would give my 29-year-old self, and it is genuinely 10 minutes. Find the document. Every fund has one. They are all required to publish it, and the number is on it. You're looking for a word like ongoing charge, or expense ratio, or management fee, then find the number beside it. Under 0.1% is a plain index fund, and you can stop reading. Anything with a 1 in front of it deserves an afternoon of your life. And if there is a person taking a percentage on top of the fund, ask him one question. Ask him what it costs in dollars on your balance this year. Not the percentage, the dollars. A good one will tell you immediately, and some of them are worth it. Mine was not, and he could not have told you either, because he had never done that sum for a client in his life. I moved the money in 2025. It took about 40 minutes in 2 forms. 40 minutes against 19 years. 40 minutes? I still have 20-odd working years left, and on the new number, the arithmetic is entirely different. That is the only reason I can tell this story without wanting to put my head through a wall. Go and find your number. It is one line, in one document, and it decides more than every clever thing you will ever do with money. I put the boring arithmetic on this channel with the 19 years I lost left in. Subscribe if that is the version you want.